Welcome to tonight's broadcast of the Speed Xfinity Series presented by the Gold Octopus. My name is Bob Giaquinto here on the Tabletop Trio Network. As always, thank you so much for joining us this evening. This is going to be a very, very fun race. Homestead-Miami Speedway always open to giving some of the best racing around, and some things to look at for tonight's race. It's the Aces Axes 125 here at Homestead. 78 degrees, so a little cool out. Track temp is only going to be about 85, 86 degrees, so plenty of grip for multiple grooves out there tonight. One of the biggest keys for tonight is to save your tires. The top line is going to get you a much better run off the corner, but it also could provide for a little more tire wear. So if drivers are going to want to run up top as long as they can, they're going to have to save their tires. Another one, like I mentioned, multiple grooves. You could run all the way on the bottom. You could run all the way at the top. Heck, you could even run in the middle. So a lot of differing strategies. Watch out for guys kind of changing lanes, making different choices, sliding up. You'll see the, famous Dale Jr. slide job going on as well throughout the race tonight. Want to mention a few fantastic sponsors making tonight's race possible. The first is our friends at Track Cams for Gourmets, making all of these fantastic camera angles for you tonight. Tonight's race is brought to you by the Gold Octopus, our friends at Aces Axes. You can check them out on YouTube and Instagram, and they are all about guitars and sharing just sharing and spreading music and smiles through guitar reviews and interviews with touring bands all out of upstate New York. They do photography of guitars in the wild and live on stage, and they just want to inspire and show off the many ways that this instrument, the guitar, rules them all. You can check them out online, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. That is Aces Axes. In the chat, we got Ryan Tilner and Purple Priest. Welcome in, gentlemen. Much appreciated. Tonight's race is also brought to you by Denton County Carpet Cleaning, Mark's Pizzeria, they are simply the best, and Simrap Guy. Lots of great racing for tonight. We'll take a look at the scoring pylon, see where your favorite driver is running so far in practice. Right now, that's the number 8 machine. Randy Arms is our leader, just kind of carrying off of what he did last week at Daytona after getting the win. Arms with a 33.06. Second place, Kyle Ritchie, Reese Bogue, and Martin Plute here in 4th with the fastest time. Top 6 drivers all separated, you see right there on your screen, by 0.1 second. So definitely some even splits out there for tonight. Some good racing going on. Josiah Vincent parking it, jumping himself back into the pits. Taking a look right now at the 11 of Chris Darling, getting himself ready to go. Heading into tonight, after our first race of the season, we do have the point standings. Randy Arms winning last week at Daytona. A couple points behind him, Kyle Ritchie, Michael Mahoney, Chris Darling currently P4 in the standings. There's Evan Williams there as well. And the rest of the top 20 on the points on your screen. This is going to be a lot of fun here for tonight. Some more drivers out there. We'll follow along with this number 16. That is Josh Gosling. We'll jump on board, get ourselves situated here with the 1.5 mile racetrack of Homestead-Miami Speedway. Just a standard oval, it's not D-shaped. Progressive banking all throughout the corner. More banking up top than you do on the bottom. As Gosselin here opts to run the bottom the shortest way around, but also sometimes could be the slowest, as you can't really carry the momentum as well as you can normally up top. And you can hear those tires screeching. You also got to be careful. See those seams on the racetrack? They are very difficult to hold on to the car, and one little too slide or just a little too much power, those tires could lose grip and you're going to find yourself in the outside wall in a hurry. So just a couple more things to keep an eye out as this race goes on. Right now, here's the one of Jason Gracias, that Max Graphics Jeff Gordon T-Rex machine. And as we say that, time on qualifying has expired. And we'll take a look now and move over into the qualifying session. As we'll wait to see who's going to jump out on track and make their move first. Single car qualifying. As Josh Gosselin peels out onto the front straightaway. Chris Darling out as well. This is another big key to the race. Should we get some green flag pit stops, hustling around this this access road, not a whole lot of grip. So something you're gonna have to be mindful of during the race. You don't want to get on the throttle too hard, spin out, lose control. Could bring out a yellow, could damage the car. Not something we want to do here. Just trying to get things rolling. Chris Darling is out on track as well. Jason Shu. Take a look to see what Darling's first lap is going to look like. As we'll have to refresh the overlays here. My apologies. Gonna do my best with all of this going on right now. So as we see Chris Darling there, we'll take a look at the 8 of Randy Arms. Going up to the point, Kyle Ritchie puts up a 33.027. Chris Darling 33.08. New pole time is Randy Arms 33.03. Let's see if we can get my timing and scoring monitor to get itself restarted. My apologies here. As right now qualifying starting to slow down just a little bit. Reese Bogue in there as well. Just a couple of minutes left here in qualifying. Bear with me just a couple of moments, just trying to get the overlays to restart for me. As soon as we get them together, we'll get ourselves right back underway. As of right now, looks like the 04 of Reese Bogue is going to be our pole sitter. But so far, the track is quiet. Everyone else has put in their qualifying times. And now we wait for everyone to get themselves back out on track. And this could be a good one. If you're just joining us, welcome into the Tabletop Trio Network. As always, if you like what you see and want to catch more of tonight's action and the rest of the season of the Speed Xfinity Series, make sure you check us out on all of the social media platforms, our website, tabletoptrio.com, as well. We'll take a look here at the starting lineup for tonight's Aces Axes 125 here at Homestead. Reese Bogue on the pole with a 32.975. On the outside is last week's winner at Daytona, Randy Arms. Kyle Ritchie, Christopher Darling, third and fourth. Row 3 has Jason Gracias and Ethan Amberg. Row 4, Josh Goslin and Ryan Tiller. Row 5, Garrett Austin, Josiah Vincent. Row number 6, we have Casey Brown and Nicholas Coates. Kevin Ritchie and Evan Williams in row 7. Row 8 has Martin Plute and Siderius Diaz. In row number 9, Stephen Kirby and Charles Simmer. Row 10 is Jason Shu, Tim Branson. Row 11 is Stan Hausman and Scott Leonard. Wyatt Garrett and Ryan Newman make up row 12. And on the back of the line, we have Zachary Williams, Joey Barrett, and Randy McCanney. This is going to be an exciting race. I'm very much looking forward to it, and we're going to be calling the action tonight. 85 laps here at Homestead as the crew and everyone else getting their cars lined up and ready to race as the field drives off the pit road. In the chat, Zach Austin cheering on Reese, Garrett, Evan, Kirby, and Zach. As the field makes their way off of pit road. Behind the pace car. And we are going to get ourselves ready for 85 laps, 127 and a half miles, technically. 125 just sounded like a better round number. Every car having their onboard cameras for you tonight. So we will not miss any of the action for tonight's race. But the field makes its way out of turn number 4. Pace car is off. Field in the hands of the 04 of Reese Bogue. Green flag in the air. We're racing here at Homestead. A great run so far for both drivers, both able to get a launch. And they're side by side heading off into turn number 1. There's Reese Bogue on the inside. He's taking the shorter way around just above that seam. Like I said, keep an eye out on that seam. Drivers could take that. It's going to kick the car sideways just a little bit, make it a little difficult to handle as their run goes on. So they're going to have to keep an eye out here, but looks like everyone kind of migrating towards the bottom just to save tires as best they can, as Reese Bogue is going to lead lap number 1. A little bit more action in the back. Just behind Jason Gracias, it's Ethan Amberg and Chris Darling. Amberg on the inside, Darling on the outside. A couple of drivers opting to take the high line, but for the most part, everyone just kind of sitting back and content to say, yeah, no, I'm going to just hang out here. As they're 2 wide, almost 3 wide coming down the front straightaway out of 2, and you could really see everyone fan out. Everyone has their own different lines to try to run. Some more great side-by-side action right now. We're looking, for the moment, at a battle for right around 5th or 6th. As we see a couple of drivers there side-by-side. We'll jump on board now with the 4 of Josiah Vincent. Vincent following right tight behind the 23 of Tiller and the 16 of Goslin. Everyone, for the most part, still sticking to the bottom. As, oh, the 4 gets stuck in the wall, and that's one of those things about iRacing. They have that wall glue, for lack of a better phrase, where if you get your car stuck in that wall, it's going to want to stay up there unless you slow down and try to pull it off the wall as quick as you can. And sometimes that can just get a little messy. But luckily there for Vincent, he's able to keep it going and looks no worse for wear. Meanwhile, up at the front, we'll take a look at this battle for the lead. We've got the 04 rather, of Reese Bogue up front, followed by Randy Arms. Kyle Ritchie there in 3rd. And Jason Gracias. Gracias is one of those drivers who, you know, just fantastic at saving tires. Really, really good here, especially at Homestead. And who knows, maybe he'll be able to put that Max Graphics T-Rex machine into victory lane. But so far, a little bit further back in the pack, there's a 16 of Goslin still putting some pressure on the 23 of Tiller. He's got Josiah Vincent to his outside, trying to take the high line. And as you'll see on the left-hand side of your screen, you can see where all of your favorite drivers are currently running. Here's Plute. He's going to take a look to the outside of Nicholas Cope. Side by side. Neither one really able to do all that much. Great looking number 9 Bill Elliott-esque Toyota. There's just something so simple yet so elegant about that all red number 9 machine. It's got the Evernham wings on it as well. Always fun to see. Just in front of them, we've got the 34 of Garrett Alston. That Gold Octopus machine. You can always check out the Gold Octopus on Etsy. They've got a huge selection of home goods, handmade decorations. They've got paintings, terrariums, macram planters. You can check them out Instagram and X. Really the perfect place to give you a gift. So make sure to check out the Gold Octopus, one of our fantastic sponsors here at the Speed Xfinity Series, presented by the Gold Octopus. But right now, Garrett is in quite a battle at the moment. Back here fighting just get inside of the top 10. They're lined up side by side as if they're just about to start the race. We're 12 laps into this thing, and still anyone's race. Out front, Bogue has opened up a 4/10 of a second lead over Arms. As, it looked like Casey Brown might have grabbed the wall just a little bit. But this right now is the biggest battle out on the track, and it's involving quite a few drivers. Kevin Ritchie there to the inside of Austin. Here's Brown to the outside. Just behind them, Coate and Tiller side by side as well. Now they're going to try to go 3 wide. Here's Garrett Austin to the inside, or to the middle. Kevin Ritchie on the inside. Tiller says, man, I didn't sign up for this one. As they're still side by side. Ritchie backs off and says, not right now. But a fantastic battle brewing here on the racetrack. Great camera angles. Looks like there's one car having a couple of connection issues. No one actually in the wall. That's just iRacing assuming that's where the position was of the driver. Looking to see who that is. Believe that might be the 14 of Ethan Amberg, who's having some connection issues. So we'll see if those issues persist. That was a little bit sketchy there. As we see 34 Garrett Austin trying to take a peek to the inside. Couldn't quite get it going there. Pace car making a lot of noise. As, now Amberg gets up into the wall. Just a little bounce. Nothing too wild and crazy. Take a look here a little bit further ahead. This is a good battle brewing and has been for just a few laps. See Gosselin trying to track down the 4 of Vincent and 98 of Casey Brown, trying to catch up with him. Last couple of laps, Brown was just slightly faster. Gosselin trying to make a move there on Vincent. They're side by side. Vincent on the outside. Gosselin on the inside. They're still side by side. As we'll keep this battle here. They are really duking it out right now for just around 7th place. And if I'm Gosselin, I'm sitting there, I'm saying, hey, you know what? I'm going to let these guys race in my mirror. I'm going to try to drive off. 8 tires are better than 4 tires when it comes to turning, but when you're trying to go in a straight line, they're just going to slow each other down. other guys come together and catch the wall. That was the 98 of Brown. Everyone has to scatter just a little bit, but everyone still got it pointing in the right direction. Here comes Richie. He's going to take a peek to the inside now. Almost a quarter of the way through this race already. And plenty of action still on the track. Bogue has opened up about an 0.8 of a second lead. And if you're watching tonight's race in the chat, let me know who you want to win. As we see a little bit of contact between the 09 and Stephen Kirby and Garrett Austin. Let me know who you're cheering for. Also, feel free to like, subscribe, and let us know what you think about the race so far as we see the 81 of Martin Plute. Had a little incident. We'll take a look here on the Tabletop Trio replay of what exactly happened to the 81 of Martin Plute. Looked like he was coming out of turn number 2, got real high up off the wall, tried to get it saved. He was coming down as the 33 was coming up, trying to get around the 39 of Houseman, and just kind of lost position. So we'll take a look as we're back live. Plute has now fallen all the way back to 17th place. Meanwhile, out front, a couple of good battles on track. This is the 51 of Kevin Ritchie. He and Casey Brown have been fighting for the last, 8 to 10 laps. And it can certainly be seen these drivers are racing their hearts out as we've hit the 25% mark of this one. Quick race as well. As, looks like the 51, little connection issues. Brown backs off just a little bit, doesn't want to have any netcode problems. But I'm still trying to think, as this race goes on, as the tires start to get worn out, it's going to be harder and harder to pass. So you're going to want to start migrating up towards the wall, maybe in the last couple of laps. Looks like we have one taker down onto pit road. That's the 14 of Ethan Amberg. Not sure if this is a scheduled stop or if something more is going on. But Amberg making that long, slow drive down pit road as the crew comes around and puts on some work on the car. He's going to go one lap down. Left side tires go on. And trouble. Caution flag is out. And it's the 98 of Casey Brown. Let's take a look to see all that happened out there again on this Tabletop Trio replay. But what a tough break for the 98 of Brown. Looked like he was fighting with the 09. And unfortunately, we'll take a look to see what had happened. Yeah, 89 kind of came down. He caught the 09. Both of them went hard into the wall. And looks like, unfortunately, the 09's night is going to be done. But let's take a look on board with the 09 of Stephen Kirby. So as we see here, both just kind of minding his own business, and right there, a little bit of contact hard into the wall. That is the sound of a very broken engine, unfortunately. And that might be race over for both of these drivers. But we'll take a look here as everyone heads down pit road. That's the 14 Amber getting his lap back. But the whole field says, yep, we want some fresh tires. As leading this one off pit road will be Bogue, followed by, I don't know if Richie or Arms got it. And everyone else makes it cleanly down off of pit road. So, first caution of the night comes out on lap 26. And this man, still the leader, able to race off into the sunset. Arms having a quick little blink. As the field getting themselves ready to go. He's going to try to pull up Garrett Austin, but I'm not seeing him in the chats right now. Looks like Martin Plute heads back down pit road as well. Probably just going in to top off, maybe fix a little bit of damage that he might have had. But we'll reset right now. 56 laps to go here at the line. Reese Bogue, your leader, who's led pretty much the entire race. Randy Arms there in second. Kyle Ritchie third. Jason Gracias fourth. Chris Darling in fifth. Josh Gosselin in the 16 as in sixth place. Kevin Ritchie in seventh. Nicholas Coate in eighth. Josiah Vincent 9. And Garrett Austin is going to round out your top 10. Evan Williams there in P11. Stan Hausman in the Beer Street Journal Machine is in 12th. Tim Branson in 13th. Ryan Tiller in 14th. Joey Barrett 15th. Jason Shue 16th. Sidarius Diaz in 17th. Scott Leonard in 18th. Wyatt Garrett in 19th. And Ryan Newman rounds out the top 20. Casey Brown with a lot of damage still on the lead lap, however, in 21st. Martin Plute in 22nd, making a couple of pit stops just to top off and see if he can go just a little bit longer on this next run in 22nd. Zach Williams in 23rd. Ethan Amberg 24th. Stephen Kirby on pit road. Charles Simmer is also out of this race. So the field side by side coming out of turn number 2. Pace car is off. And we are back green. Reese Bogue gets a great jump on the start. Randy Arms takes a peek to the inside in P2. Kyle Ritchie, Jason Gracias side by side for a moment. Now we've got Chris Darling and Josh Gosselin fighting it out here in P5. Are still side by side down the back straightaway. Neither driver wanting to give an inch. There goes Gosselin on the outside. Martin Plute heads down pit road. Oh, trouble! Chris Darling around. We're getting our second yellow of the race, as everyone else has to take some evasive reactions. Little bit of damage on that right rear corner for Chris Darling. Definitely a tough break. Let's take a look at that one on the tabletop trio replay, as it looked like one car was coming up as the other was coming down, and definitely not exactly ideal. As we'll join this one here, coming down the front straightaway, Chris Darling on the inside in that number 11 machine. Darling goes to the inside, but it looked like the 16 just kind of chopped down a little bit, and Darling goes around. Almost had it slowed up enough. Luckily, though, everyone else able to get that one saved. Jump back into the replay one more time. We'll jump on board with the 11 of Darling just to see what exactly happened from his standpoint. So Darling takes a peek to the inside, and just a little tap. Damage isn't really too bad, but Darling back in 20th place at the moment. As we'll go live, just a couple of takers down on pit road. Jason Shue in the number 3 just in front of him. Darling heading down pit road right now. Meanwhile, out front, everyone else deciding, no, we're going to stay out. They were just on pit road a couple of laps earlier. We'll take a look here at the top 10. Everyone there pitted on lap 27. A couple more drivers towards the back of the field heading down pit road. They all last pitted at the same time. And all had just about the same time on pit road too, so everyone just about even in that regard. Casey Brown getting some more damage fixed. A lot of damage on that number 98 John Deere machine. Chris Darling still getting that damage fixed, which I'm a little surprised he's been on pit road for that long. Especially because that damage didn't look too bad, but his crew's able to get that one fixed. Mark Plute, Jason Shue on pit road, as well as Ethan Amberg. Brown heads back down. Good strategy by these drivers in the back. Just come down, take a splash of fuel, keep going. Shue does that a lot, and it's a great strategy just to kind of keep the car filled up. More fuel you have now, you can go a little bit longer, and maybe a lap or two longer could help you overcut a driver if they have to pit earlier. Little splash isn't exactly going to make you win the race, but sure as heck does a good job of getting you there a little bit closer at the end. Likely going to get the one to go this time by. As our leader, Reese Bogie, says, I'm going to take the inside. Randy Arms on the outside. As the lights you see on the pace car are off. Shue again heading down pit road. Don't forget, tonight's race is brought to you by Aces Axes. They're all about guitars and sharing the spread of music and smiles. through guitar interviews, reviews, some great chats with touring bands out of upstate New York. They do photography of guitars as well, both in the wild and live on stage. And they just want to inspire and show off how great guitars are. You can check them out online on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. Make sure you do that. Support our fantastic sponsors here on the Speed Xfinity Series. Guys like Aces Axis, the Gold Octopus. Mark's Pizzeria, Sim Wrap Guy, Denton Carpet as well. But as we say, that green flag is back out. We are underway. Bogue gets another great restart. And here's the 76 of Kyle Ritchie to the party. He's going to take a peek down low. Randy Arms on the outside. Arms is going to have the momentum coming down the backstretch. But very interesting there to see the 76 get a great run. He's onto the quarter panel of Arms. Arms shuts the door. Ritchie's going to back off just a little bit, and he's got the T-Rex right on his tail of Jason Gracias. Up front, Reese Bogue has the point still. Down low is Bogue. Bogue's going to slide up right in front of the 8 of Arms. That's going to kill a little bit of momentum from Arms. Everyone has gotten together single file. Brown's still down on pit road. As you see that on the lower left-hand corner of your screen. Taking a look at the weather for the race as of right now. 84-degree air temperature, 90-degree track. So it is getting a little warmer. Is going to start going away as well. Right now we're side-by-side battle for the lead. Here comes Arms to the inside. Bogue has the preferred outside line. However, that is going to wear the tires just a little bit, as we're only a couple of laps away from halfway. But here comes Arms. Arms with a head of steam to the inside. They're still dueling down the back straightaway. Just about even now, as Bogue trying to get a little bit more momentum from the top side. He's going to go down low and pinch right in the middle as we jump on board with the 04 of Bogue. To the line, still side by side. Give Arms the lead this time by, but here comes Bogue. All the while, this number 76 of Kyle Ritchie says, guys, keep on fighting. I am right here. Great action here at the halfway point of this one. The Aces Axis 125 here at Homestead-Miami Speedway. Bogue able to take the position from Arms. And Arms back on the offensive. Arms to the top side. May not be able to get much of it going right now, but he's going to have a ton of momentum down the back straightaway. Here comes Arms. Arms thinks about going low, instead decides to stay in line. That's going to get Ritchie right onto his back bumper, but here comes Arms. Arms sliding up the racetrack. Big slide from him. He's got Ritchie right on his tail. Big battle here for second place. As right now, these two drivers all over one another. We'll see the crossed flags this time by as we are halfway through this one. Reese Bogue has it. Randy Arms putting the pressure on up top now. Arms trying to use the momentum from the top side. Can't quite get much done there, but he's going to be closing in. Less than 0.2 of a second separate these two drivers. Here comes Richie as well. Richie taking a peek. And oh, Arms has a bit of a blink. Little connection issue. But everything seems to be a little bit more stable now. Arms to the top side. Bogue really enjoys this bottom lane. And right now, that's going to be the fastest way around the track. As we've got a good battle brewing here for the lead. A little bit further back, let's take a look at this number 9 machine trying to put some pressure on Jason Gracias. Cope taking a peek down low. Can't quite get anything done that time. Nicholas Coate out of the Boston, Massachusetts area. Great looking paint scheme. A couple of throwback cars fighting it out between Jason Gracias and Nicholas Coate. Up at the front, not a whole lot has changed. Bogue has opened up to about 0.6 of a second lead. Good battle right now for second, as Randy Arms has it in the 76 of Kyle Ritchie wants it. A little bit further back, let's pick up this battle. This is a battle for P11 between the 33 of Evan Williams and the 11 of Chris Darling. Good fight going on between these two drivers. Looks like Darling is going to take a peek to the inside. And oh, trouble! Chris Darling goes around. We're going to get yellow flag number 3 for this one. And he might have made a little bit of contact with Martin Plute as well. Tough break there for Chris Darling. Let's see what happened there on the Tabletop Trio replay. Tough break there for CD. As I don't know if he was trying to take a peek to the inside or if he made some contact with the 33, kind of chucking it in, but let's find out here. As let's take a look here on your screen. The orange and white machine of Chris Darling, he goes to the inside, and yeah, I don't know if the 33 is expecting him to go a little bit lower or if he was expecting the 33 to go higher. But they come together, and oh, a little bit of contact there at the end to make matters worse. This time with Martin Plute. We'll go on board and take a look at another angle of this one. As here comes Darling, he takes a look to the inside, and yeah, I think the 33 came down just a little bit. And that would be that. But that being said, looks like a lot of drivers heading down pit road. A lot of drivers on pit road. Everyone except Chris Darling, actually. So Darling is going to inherit the lead. But Bogue is going to win the battle off. There goes Ritchie. And Randy Arms going to fall back just a little bit more. as we'll see the rest of everyone else file off of pit road. So now we'll see the 11 of Chris Darling. He stays out, but because he stayed out, the 81, I believe, of Martin Plute will not get a lap back. So we'll take a look here at the pit strategy. Chris Darling last pitted on lap 33. Everyone else obviously just coming off of pit road. Let's see if we can dial up the 11 of Chris Darling just to see what exactly had gone on there. Hey, Chris Darling, Bob Giaquinto here in the Tabletop Trio booth. You got a copy?
I got you.
Hey, Chris, taking a look at that, what happened out there between you and the 33?
Just people driving like boneheads. They have no racecraft, so I mean, I don't know, man. You can't change lanes to block somebody going down into a braking zone. It's absolutely silly. So I have no choice but to stay out. I don't have enough tires to go and take some more in case there's a caution. So we'll see what happens. I don't know.
Yeah, that was actually going to be my next question. Staying out, saving tires. How many sets are left for you?
I got one set, so I'm just gonna try to make it last. I got a bit of damage though, so I don't really know if it matters, but I just gotta salvage something here.
Well, Chris, we'll get you back up there in your chat. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
All right, that was Chris Darling driver of the number 11 machine as they're getting the one to go this time by. Little bit of damage. Had to take tires the last time by because of the spin that he had just a little bit earlier. So this could be interesting, as Darling on old tires, everyone else pretty much on new tires. We'll show the pit stop for you again. Everyone there came in on lap 50. Darling on lap 33. So a 19 lap difference in tires for Darling and the rest of the field. But here comes the field at a turn number 4. Lights on the pace car are off. Let's see if Darling's going to be able to get up to speed with no issues. A little bit of damage, older tires. Green flag. Oh, he spins him. Spins him. Big wreck on the front stretch. Yellow flag is out. A lot of junked race cars and a tough break for Chris Darling. Let's get a look at this one again on the Tabletop Trio replay. As it looked like Darling got on the loud pedal, but old tires didn't have a whole lot of grip. And unfortunately for him and the rest of the field, shot him sideways. But we'll see here. We'll ride on board with Darling. Let's take a listen to hear how the tires slid. Yep, right there. And everyone just along for the ride at this point. Tough break there for Darling. We'll take a look at a couple more angles of this one, because there was a lot of drivers involved. We'll take a look at slow-mo cam here on the back of Darling. Big slide right there, caught the wall. Arms gets involved. 04 Bogue had nowhere else to go. I believe the 51 got damaged in that one as well. Let's get another angle here, this time from the 8 of Arms. Arms was second in line here on the outside. As Bogue, I think, might have gotten another piece of it. We'll rewind the tape here, and yeah, man, Bogue, I think, might have gotten the worst of it. As right there, Darling spins the tires. Arms gets a bit of front end damage, might have lost a fender there. And Bogue is just kind of stuck behind Darling. 51, nowhere to go. He gets in the back of the 23. Of Tiller. 92 goes for a spin on the inside. 35 and the 15 there of Newman and Zach Williams involved. 51 of Kevin Ritchie there trying to get it spun back around as well. Goslin there looks like he was able to get away free from it. We'll jump back live as we're under the 4th caution, and this is going to change everything. So out front now, we have the 76 of Kyle Ritchie. There might actually have been a couple of penalties. I would assume those penalties will be cleared because of the wreck. So anyone who got a passing under yellow or passing to the inside or anything like that, I'm going to assume those black flags are all going to be cleared out. Though we might get a couple of very strange formations here when we go back green, because even though the black flag was cleared, they still may have to go to the end of the longest line, so we may get a pseudo single file restart once things do go back around. Looks like Bogue as well as Ritchie and Garrett all on pit road still. There's Ritchie leaving. Reese Bogue leaving as well. Not a whole lot of front end damage, but I believe he might have had some contact. Yep, a lot of contact in the back from the 23, having nowhere to go for him. But we're going to rack them all up and do it all over again. About 27 laps to go. So the pace car pulls away. Ritchie there is going to be able to get a huge jump, and we're back racing. Here comes Goslin. He's going to take a peek to the inside of Gracias. And the rest of the field moves up as well. They're side by side. A lot of cars jockeying for position a little bit further back. There comes Josiah Vincent. He makes his way around Code. He's going to set his sights now on the one of Jason Gracias as well as Josh Goslin. Coat is right there. There's Ritchie already out to almost a second lead over Gracias. Vincent might have grabbed the wall just a tiny bit, but they're side by side now with Goslin on the inside. Goslin in front of Vincent. 33 of Williams drives in a little deep. He might have tagged the 9 a little bit, but no one the worse for wear. Here comes Gosselin. He's on the inside. Coat right in his tire tracks. Williams driving in a lot deeper than a lot of these other drivers, or at least able to get on the gas a lot sooner. And if I'm Williams, I might want to tone it down just a tiny bit just to try to save tires. Everyone still should have one set of tires left in the pits. But that being said, 24 laps to go. They may not wind up using them. Up front, Richie has opened it up to a almost 9/10 of a second lead over Jason Gracias. Got a battle for 8th brewing here between Arms and Joey Barrett. Arms to the inside. Barrett on the outside. Now they swap. Arms takes a look to the outside. Arms really preferring that outside line. We saw that with the battle between he and the 04 earlier in the run. Now they swap positions. Arms to the inside. He's got his nose right on the quarter panel of the 43 of Barrett. Arms is going to take the position. Now he'll fall into the clutches to the 34 of Garrett Austin. Bogue heads back down on pit road. A very disappointing race for him. Had it in the bag for the first half of this one. So far, the biggest mover of the race is this driver on screen right now, the 43 of Joey Barrett. Barrett actually started in 28th position. Moved his way up. He's now plus 17 on the evening here in P9 at the moment. Another big mover for tonight is this driver, the number 39 machine, Stan Hausman. Hausman started 21st, and he's moved his way up to 7th in the Beer Street Journal Chevy Camaro. Meanwhile, up at the front, only 0.2 of a second separating these two drivers. Good little battle going here. Everyone pitting for two. Everyone has made 2 stops so far. Just about 0.3 of a second separate these drivers. Now we've got 18 laps to go. Gracias starting to fall back just a tiny bit. Now almost a second separates the leader in P2. Couple of tenths separates between Gracias and Gosselin as well. And speed about 178 miles an hour as they dive off into turn number 3. And if you're looking to see where your favorite driver is on track at the moment, we'll show you. Everyone pretty well bunched up. The 19 with a little bit of damage. That's Leonard. But other than that, everyone pretty much nose to tail. Got a battle for 13th place between Diaz and Jason Shu. Shu to the inside, Diaz to the outside. Cast Iron Kyle in chat, welcome in. Hope you're enjoying this one. 16 laps to go here at Homestead. It's the Aces Axes 125. Make sure you check Aces Axes out. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Spreading the joy of guitars everywhere through interviews, photos, and a whole lot more. You can check them out online. Diaz falls back, currently running in the 14th place. Another battle going on for 7th right now. Here's Stan Hausman. Hausman just trying to run away from Arms. Can't quite do anything right there. 14 laps remaining. Still anyone's race. The gap just about a second between the leader, Kyle Ritchie, and Jason Gracias. There's Goslin taking a look to the inside of Gracias. Can't do anything there. A little bit further back, there's Evan Williams to the inside of Vincent. Williams in that Raising Cane's machine. They just opened a Raising Cane's near me. Still have yet to go, and I know it's a sin, but I'll get there eventually, all right? Another battle a little bit further back. That's the 39 of Hausman. Randy Arms there as well. Arms a little squirrely out of turn 2, but he's going to get a good run down the back straightaway. Some great battles brewing there. This battle for 3rd starting to heat up. Goslin right on the back bumper of the one of Jason Gracias. You can hear how long he's out of the throttle just to keep the car pointed in the right direction. But we've got 10 laps to go. Can Kyle Ritchie hang on? Will Gracias be able to hold off Goslin? All those questions will be answered with 10 more laps to go here at Homestead. There's Williams. He and Cote fighting for position. Another good fight there between the 4 of Vincent and Stan Hausman. Randy Arms in there, as well as the 43 of Joey Barrett. Garrett Austin having himself a good night, running P10, that Gold Octopus machine. Nine to go. Here's Cote, currently running P5, trying to track down the 33 of Williams, who's right there. Gracias has opened up the gap just a little bit to Gosling. We've got a side-by-side battle this time with Hausman. Here comes Arms taking a peek to the inside. They're 3 wide coming out of turn number 4. Things cool down just for the moment. Hausman to the inside of Vincent. 7 laps to go. Vincent pushes up, so does Arms. Hausman just happy to paint the bottom line. He'll slide up in front of Vincent. Oh, maybe a little bit of contact, but there's Vincent able to keep it straight. As here comes Arms to the top side. To the bottom, here's Barrett. Barrett might have a little bit better of a run. Garrett Austin in there as well. Great battles here all over the racetrack. 6 laps to go. Arms falling off just a tiny bit. But here comes Barrett trying to take pressure. He'll take a peek to the inside. Vincent shuts the door. Garrett Austin 43, or Garrett Austin in the 34 on the back bumper of the 43. Little bit of contact. Garrett Austin might have grabbed the wall just a tiny bit. That's going to let Arms try to sneak into the picture. 5 to go. Little more contact. Austin able to keep it straight. Arms to the top side. He's going to have momentum down the back straightaway. They're side by side now with the 43 of Barrett. Barrett has the position. There's Arms up against the wall. So now we have 4 laps remaining. Here's Barrett. He's trying to hold off Vincent. Arms as well as Austin. The gap out front has grown to 2.25 seconds between Richie and Gracias. Gracias with a 0.3 of a second lead over Gosling. Right now, this is a huge battle. They're side by side still, the 4 and the 8. And oh, little contact. Sideways goes Vincent. He's going to have to chase it up the hill. There's Austin. Austin's going to pounce. Here comes Garrett Austin, the inside of Vincent. Is he going to be able to make the move stick? They've got 2 to go. Here comes Austin. Austin to the inside. He's going to run the bottom. He'll get around the 4 of Josiah Vincent. And he'll set his sights on the 8 of Randy Arms. Oh, but Garrett gets loose out of 2. Not quite able to get anything done there. Meanwhile, out front, coming out of turn number 4, white flag in the air for Kyle Ritchie. Ritchie, the biggest benefactor after Chris Darling had his restart issues. And an incident that collected the 0-4 of Reese Bogue. And a decent amount of the field. But Kyle Ritchie running top 3 all race long. Coming out of turn number 4, Kyle Ritchie is going to win the Aces Axes 125 here at Homestead. Jason Gracias comes home P2. Josh Goslin P3. Evan Williams comes home P4. Nicholas Coate in P5. Stan Hausman comes home 6th. Joey Barrett 7th. Randy Arms in 8th. Garrett Austin in 9th. And Josiah Vincent is going to round out the top 10. We're going to try to get some drivers into the interview waiting room, and we'll hear from the top 3 including this driver right here, Josh Goslin. So let's see if we can get some of these guys into the interview waiting room. We're going to get the drivers ready to go. If I can, I'm not seeing Jason Gracias, nor am I seeing Goslin. So if you guys are currently listening to this one, would appreciate you guys jumping into the interview waiting room. Looks like that won't be able to be done, but that is okay, because we, in just a matter of moments, are going to be jumping in to chat with tonight's winner of the Aces Axes 125, who won in, honestly, pretty dominating fashion there towards the end of this one. As we'll try to pull some of these guys into the broadcast booth. But I'll head down to Victory Lane right now and chat with the winner of the Aces Axes 125, Kyle Ritchie. Kyle, congratulations on the win. You were running top 5 for pretty much the entire race. Talk me through your run.
Yeah, I knew going into this race I'd be quick. I love Homestead. I knew it would be a tire game, so the first run, me and Randy tried to save, but we thought we were going to save the right rear, and that was not the fact. We had to save the right front, and we didn't do that very well. So once we pit after like lap 35, we had that yellow. We changed our strategy and tried to burn the right rear off a little bit, and then Randy unfortunately got wrecked on a restart. And from there, I kind of knew it was a lock. I didn't want to jinx myself, but I knew it would be hard to beat me, especially the 2 fastest guys were out of my way, so I didn't have to worry about anything. But yeah, it was a fun race.
And yeah, take me through that restart. You had a pretty good front row seat to the mayhem. It looked like Darling, on old tires, wound up spinning them, trying to fire off, and unfortunately took out some guys that were up front with you pretty much the entire race, between the 04 of Bogue, like you'd mentioned, Arms as well. What did you see on that restart?
I didn't even realize until we were 2 to green that someone had stayed out, because I was expecting to restart second, and I was going to try to run the top to get in front of Reese so that I could have the clean air. But then when I saw I was third, I knew someone had stayed out, and we ran like 20-something laps, so I knew the wheel spin would be crazy. So I gave him like half a lane maybe, and then he went really early, and he spun the tires, so I just hooked a left, and unfortunately he took a few people out, which sucks for them, but it was lucky for me.
Yeah, definitely lucky for you. Taking a look up to next week, first road course of the season, heading to the Red Bull Ring. How are you on road courses, and what do you think your chances are at repeating this week's performance?
My friends call me the road course specialist in stock cars, so I'm very excited. I've never raced at Red Bull Ring in a stock car, so that'll be a first time experience. But I love road racing, especially in the Xfinity car. So I am very much looking forward to next week, and hopefully we can repeat.
Awesome. Well, Kyle, before I let you go, I'm sure you have some shout outs and thank yous and sponsorship stuff, so I'd love to hear them.
Yes, I'm going to shout out all of my teammates, with Wyatt Garrett, who had an unfortunate wreck, Casey Brown, Ryan Tiller, Kevin Ritchie, and Randy Arms. And shout out to you guys for putting on an awesome broadcast and a great league.
Awesome. Well, Kyle, congratulations on the win. Looking forward to seeing you out there next week at the Red Bull Ring.
Thank you. Looking forward to next week.
Awesome. Well, that is our winner, Kyle Ritchie, who had a dominating performance here as the race rolls on. Real quick, before we head out, there are plenty of drivers and sponsors that I want to thank for coming out tonight. First of all, the camera angles that you see are provided by Track Cams for Gourmets. You can check them out in the link in the description below. The Gold Octopus, rather. Make sure you check them out on Etsy, Instagram, X, and all the other social medias, making some fantastic items and the perfect gift for anyone in your life. Tonight's race is the Aces Axes 125. And they're all about guitars and sharing the spread of music and smiles through the guitar reviews, interviews with touring bands out of upstate New York. They do photography of guitars in the wild and on stage, and they just want to inspire and show off how many great ways the instrument is just the best out there. Make sure you check out Aces Axes on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. Race is also brought to you by Denton County Carpet Cleaning. They are the service you can trust. Mark's Pizzeria, simply the best from all the way back in 1982. And the Simwrap guy as well, your go-to for iRacing paints. I have a Simwrap guy paint scheme on my vehicle when I'm not up here in the broadcast booth, and you should too. So the schedule rolls on for next week. We are going international, heading out to Austria at the Red Bull Ring. 45 laps there. And it's going to be a ton of fun to watch these cars try to struggle up and down the hills of Austria with some fast corners, some slow corners, and plenty of turtles to trip everyone up. So for one final time, we'll take a look at the results of tonight's race. As Kyle Ritchie gets the win, Jason Gracias comes home P2, Josh Goslin in P3, Evan Williams in P4, Nicholas Cote in P5, Stan Hausman in 6th, Joey Barrett, Randy Arms, and Garrett Austin 7th, 8th, and 9th. Josiah Vincent rounds out the top 10. Tim Branson comes home P11. Did not see too much of him tonight, but a quiet race usually means a good race, and a good race for him he had. Kevin Ritchie comes home in P12. Jason Shue 13th. Martin Plute 14th. Cedarius Diaz in 15th. Ethan Amberg, Zachary Williams 16th and 17th, with Ryan Newman coming home in 18th. 19th place, Ryan Tiller. Scott Leonard in 20th. Casey Brown 21st. Reese Bogue, with the biggest heartbreak of the race, comes home P22. Chris Darling, another tough break for him, in 23rd. Wyatt Garrett, Charles Simmons, Stephen Kirby, and Randy McCanney will round out tonight's 27-car field. And well, that'll just about do it for us. Make sure you check out tabletoptrio.com and all the social medias where you can find all of our previous broadcasts, current broadcasts, and a whole lot more. We will be back on the air next Monday night at 8 for the Total Nonstop Racing League. And we'll be here, right here, next Tuesday night, 9 o'clock Eastern, for the Speed Xfinity Series at the Red Bull Ring. For one final time, my name is Bob Giaquinto. Thank you so much for joining us here tonight for the Speed Xfinity Series. Have a great night. We'll talk to you next week.